Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Untapped Podcast 2024. My name is Jacob Gabel.
And my name is Jacob Wurtz, guys. Welcome to episode 106. If this is your first time joining us for the Untapped Podcast, first of all, thank you. We are thrilled to have you here with us. We've actually got 5 main formats of our show. So first, we have Forging Fortitude episodes. Now, in these episodes, we cover the mental side of our brain. We go over our anecdotal experience with mindset and mentality. We talk about it, we go over it, then we pass on tips and advice to you guys to then apply to your own lives. Next, we have physical vitality episodes. Now, in these episodes, we really get to showcase our expertise because you have 2 certified personal trainers here. So in these episodes, we cover everything to do with fitness, the gym, nutrition, diet, supplements, things like 75 Hard and other fitness programs like that. Sometimes we will also take trending topics or articles within the fitness industry, and we will give our thoughts and opinions on those.
Yeah. As usual, guys, great start for those first 2. Our third format is our breaking news format. That is a current event-based format. Now, when we go over that, we're not coming to you as some kind of war expert, health expert, whatever we are. We're going over what we've researched and what we can understand, and we bring you articles of what's going on in the world. We talk about them. We break down the BS, so to speak, a lot.
Oh, yeah.
Those will be a lot of fun coming up this year because, who knows what 2024 is going to be like. As we know, every year something new comes up. Our fourth format is our Knights Table format. That is a masculinity-based format. Now, keep in mind, I'm 25, Wurtz is 25, Mitch is 23. We're not coming to you as some all-put-together men. By no means at all. The only perfect man to ever exist was Jesus Christ when he came to earth. Now, on that topic, we really think masculinity is paramount in the current world and how it will shift things back to a good country in the U.S. and also the world, for that matter.
Definitely.
Now, our fifth format is our guest format. Now, that is when we sit down with somebody that is an entrepreneur, fitness professional, athlete, as we had for Mr. 105 with Mr. Matt Adams. Those are a lot of fun. We always learn something from them, and even if you know the person, you're going to learn a lot as well, which is huge. Our last thing to introduce is our producer and my brother, Mitchell Gabel. Wow, tough start here.
Hey lads, what's going on?
Yeah.
Little rusty, eh?
Ooh, yeah.
Well, I think we both had one there.
2 weeks off, and
Yeah.
apparently I forgot how to podcast. New thing, I guess.
You guys have been going on a ski trip, snowboarding trip. You guys snowboard, you don't ski because, reasons. But
You can say it.
But I got to ask, did the snow make you guys tanner?
Yes.
Is that how that works? Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mitch, what do you got?
The sun glinting off it.
Yeah.
I just ate it.
Ate the snow?
The yellow snow
The yellow
specifically.
snow specifically. Yeah. Of course.
Is he a Neanderthal?
Obviously. That's why he's not on camera.
Yeah, that's a good point. We do try to limit the camera time. Again, 1, because he's super handsome, but also 2, because Neanderthal.
Yeah.
That type of thing.
I also noticed that Colorado took both of your beards.
It did.
Yeah.
Yep. That's another thing that comes along with being in a blue state like Colorado.
Sure.
Is it takes your beard.
Takes your beard, and I bet you guys started experiencing some different colored hairs on the top of your head,
Yep.
right?
Different colored hair, lower T symptoms, that type of thing. Yeah. That came along with it. It was
Yikes.
kind of weird. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like I started, feeling sympathy for, trans movements and stuff like that, but that was kind of weird, but it comes along with the stage.
Started, it's like, man, I might actually have to vote for Biden this coming year. That's wild. It's wild. I really like Joe Biden. Gosh. Well, thankfully you're back in Missouri, the best state in the country.
Yes, 100%.
Yes.
Yep. A flyover state that just beat, one of the
Ohio
best
State.
teams in the country the last 10, 15 plus years or whatever. But yeah.
Well, Mizzou's always been so great at football too, so we're just used to the beatdowns of top 10 schools. So.
All they do is just put up W's on the board for sure at Mizzou.
Obviously talking about the Cotton Bowl in case you didn't know that, but Mizzou did come away with a nice little victory.
None of us Mizzou people either, for that matter. It's just, I think it's cool to see your state do well in
100%.
sports. I really do.
Yeah.
And that's that's one of those things that's a very American thing as well.
Yeah.
Is you just, there's a certain amount of pride that comes from the state you live in.
Yeah, I would say so.
Texas has a lot of that. I would say that's a state that has a lot of that, but I think it's important to care about traditions like that in a way.
Sure.
As we've talked about, you shouldn't live and die for sports, your sports teams and whatnot, but it's pretty cool to support your own state.
Absolutely.
And something as big as that.
And especially because here in Missouri, like Mizzou is the state school. Missouri State, just their athletics don't compare whatsoever. And so I think that's why all of us kind of gravitate towards Mizzou in those big games, and especially when Mizzou is good in football like they were this year. in a place like Alabama, well, you got either Bama, you got Auburn. Florida, you have 18 different schools you could root for.
Literally 18 of them, yeah.
So it's it's just, I think that's why a lot of us go towards Mizzou, and we're okay with rooting for them.
Definitely do.
But guys, so obviously today is New Year's Day. So first of all, Happy New Year's, Merry Christmas. Hope you guys all had great holidays with the family, with your friends. It was honestly, it was a really, really good holiday break. It really was.
Agreed.
Nice to have some days off of work and just get to spend some time and be around family and whatnot. It was a great time. Obviously, you guys got to go on a great trip out to Colorado and enjoy the mountains and the snow and all that. I'm sure that was a blast.
Yeah.
But we're back. We're back, and it's this year it's time. It's time for us. It's time for you guys listening. It's time for you individually. Whatever your ventures are in your life, like, it is time. The time is now, because with the way things are in the world right now, we don't know how much time. One, you never know how much time you have left on the earth.
Yeah.
Being alive, but things are heading in kind of a scary direction as far as the U.S., as far as the world, and there's a lot of uncertainty. So why wait around for that uncertainty when you could be taking action right now?
Exactly. Why spend time on things that might be fleeting or like in the moment type of pleasure or in the moment type of activities, instead of building something that equals legacy for you long term.
Yeah.
Even like Wurtz said, you might you don't know if you have however many years left or whatever. Why not maximize that? But on top of that, along with all the world and current events, why not add another reason to get after those goals?
Exactly.
As it is, whether that's a promotion at work or whether that's your entrepreneurship venture, whether you're a young athlete and you're still getting after it. Because again, like Matt said in our last episode, you should still be chasing those dreams, no matter what somebody tells you.
Absolutely.
Even if you have people like, why are you spending so much time on this? 2024 is also a time to not take every single person's opinion about your life into account.
Oh, 100%.
Your opinion means number one of that. And if you want to do something great, I think it's time.
Yeah,
I think
absolutely.
it's time.
And just on that note, on the Matt episode, guys, if you have not gone and listened to episode 105, whether you're a baseball person, whether you're a sports person or not, you need to go and listen, because it's just full of gold, sentences and clips and quotes from him. And it was it was a tremendous conversation that we had with him. The interaction we've had on that episode, the amount of people, getting a hold of us and just talking about it, asking questions about it. And then the way he was as well. He was a great interview. He was a great interview.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. So guys, make sure you do go and listen to 105 if you haven't already. It's also on YouTube. It's the YouTube has stepped up the game. This guy's finally learned how to edit and whatnot, and putting those together. Take a little bit off of Money Mitch over there, and we got these new camera angles and whatnot. So guys, make sure you go and check out the YouTube videos for the podcast. It takes us a lot of time, and we want to bring that type of content to you guys.
Well, and one random thing along the YouTube points, if you guys are looking, let's say, like, check your settings on what like viewing quality you're looking at too, because what I ran into, actually, we realized we were at like 360p on some of our settings on our phones and laptops and whatever.
Which is
very low. So if you go into like the settings button and then go to like different advanced settings, you can raise it up to like 4K 2160p. Right. So if you want that better quality, that is an easy option there for you guys.
Which is what we're filming in. So
exactly what we're filming.
That's why we're saying to do that. We film in the highest quality that you can. We have made the investment in some good quality equipment here. So guys, make sure you go take a look at that and take advantage of what we got going on over there.
Definitely do.
But guys, we wanted to just cover a few quick points here heading into the new year. This is obviously a time of the year where everyone makes new goals, makes new resolutions and all this, and that's great. It is. It's a time to evaluate the year that just happened and then prepare for the year that's coming. And that's exactly what you should be doing. You should be doing those things. You should be, trying to set yourself up for a successful year. But we want to cover some specifics of that, just things to maybe stay away from, and things that we suggest.
Some things we've seen.
And things we've seen. And of course, we're every year, everyone, including us, we are no different at all. You make goals and you get absolutely nowhere near accomplishing them, because usually what happens is you just don't do any work towards them. What most people do is, the calendar flips, so like things are just going to happen for me.
They're
now.
different.
Yeah. And you guys will actually kind of hear that on my Merry Monday today if you haven't already. Like, that's kind of what I specifically talk about, in that short amount of time. But these people make the goals. They say, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that this year, and they're very general. They're very, very general as far as the goals and the resolutions. And guys, I'm going to be honest with you, and we've talked about this, but if your goals and your resolutions are general, you will not accomplish them because you have no clear path to take. Goals are already hard enough to accomplish,
Oh, yeah.
and the path to take them is always very, very difficult to find. But the way you can mitigate that and make it a little bit easier on yourself is to make a specific goal. Make a specific goal, not just, I'm going to lose weight this year.
Mhm.
Okay, so then if you lose 1 pound in the next 365 days,
Is that a win?
then
for
apparently
you?
you accomplish your goal.
Yeah.
No, I'm going to lose 40 pounds by July 1st. Okay.
Now we're starting to talk.
That's a timeline. That's a specific goal. You can easily keep track of that.
It's realistic.
It
Yep.
is realistic. True.
Mhm.
Yes. You have to make realistic ones.
Unless you're like 150, then obviously that shouldn't.
Please don't lose 40 pounds if you're 150
You
pounds.
need to keep some poundage on. Yeah.
Unless you're like a very short person, I guess.
True.
There are cases for that.
Yeah. Good point. Good point.
But still, you guys get the point of that. So the biggest thing with this first point here is be specific with your goals.
Yeah. Well, one of those things I was seeing, speaking of being specific, I saw somebody say, I'm going to be more consistent with my workout routine. And that was it. That was the entirety of the goal on their list.
Yeah.
So the reason I wanted to bring that one up specifically on my end is because anytime I see somebody that has made a goal like that, whether it's a client of ours, of mine in the past, somebody that I'm maybe working with through in the fitness industry, whatever it is, or like given general advice to, and they make something like that, it doesn't get done. Like Wurtz said, your goals, if they're not specific, won't get done.
Right.
If they're general, you're at best going to get average results on something.
Oh, yeah.
At best. That's if you're lucky. You're going to
Yes.
get average results off a general goal.
Far from how good they could be.
Exactly. So instead of saying, I want to be more consistent with my workout routine, say something like, I want to be in the gym 4 days a week minimum, and I will be in the gym.
I was going to say,
That's a key.
Change it from I want to be to
Exactly.
I will.
Yep. I will be in the gym 4 days a week for a minimum of 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Start there.
Yeah.
And that can be a year-long goal.
Yeah.
Because with just that goal, you're going to get results.
100%.
No matter
You'll
what.
make
If you're in there 45
very good
minutes,
progress.
very good progress.
Yeah.
And that, if you have 45 minutes, 4 days a week, and you're working hard as hell each of those 4 days, you will get results.
Yeah.
Guaranteed. And again, it's specific. So it doesn't let you deviate. If you miss 1 week, you go to 3 days a week, that you missed your goal. Okay, now you got to re-up that same week to 4 days. So
Exactly.
it gives you a specific outline to follow.
Right.
It's not like, well, I was at 5 days this week. Okay, I think that passes my goal. But you don't really know what the hell, again, your goal was because you didn't say exactly how many days it was.
Exactly.
And again, you didn't make it measurable, specific,
Mm-hmm.
realistic,
Mm-hmm.
etc. As
Yeah.
we've talked about in the past of SMART goals.
Right.
So there's no way you can measure that. And again, the idea of these habits that come with resolutions every year is to create lifelong progress as
Yes.
well. It isn't just you progress for a year and then you're done, or you progress for the first 3 months of the year and then you're done.
Right.
That's not the
Or
goal.
the
of
first
these.
week.
Or the first
of the
damn
year.
week of the year.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
I made it 3 times this week. I'm going to go right back down to 1 day the next week. And
Exactly.
then 0 after another 2 weeks. That is not the goal.
Right. And listen, like on that point, like on your example here, 4 days a week, at least 45 minutes, one, and this isn't my point here, but one, it could be different for you. Maybe it's 4 days a week for 30 minutes. Maybe you have 30 minutes that you can get in there. Okay. We've talked about that. That can still be a very sufficient amount of time. If you're only getting 30 minutes, though, just make sure the intensity and the intent are there for that 30 minutes. Okay. And if that's all you can get throughout the day, then that's all you can get throughout the day. It's better than 0, though. Okay. But let's say your goal is, 4 times a week, at least 45 minutes. Okay, let's say it's Saturday or Sunday, and you've only gotten to the gym 3 times that week, and maybe you can't the rest of the weekend. You cannot get into the gym. Okay, you might have failed on your goal of 4 times a week, but that doesn't mean you have to fail that day or that week.
Exactly.
Do you have 30 to 45 minutes to go walk 2 or 3 miles? Do you have a weighted vest you could use to make that a little bit more difficult?
Right.
Could you, literally just a walk, though. You can still make progress even though you might have not quite met your goal. That doesn't mean you have to get discouraged and then just lose.
Yeah.
It's
also a way to reevaluate
100%.
as well, because what went wrong that I only got to the gym 3 days this week?
Right.
Okay, now I can switch this around and move this around to get to
Exactly.
4 days this next week and keep that consistent.
Right. Or maybe this day I have to go at night after work.
Right.
I don't want to. Maybe it's not ideal, but maybe to get to that 4th day, maybe that's what you got to do.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I feel like if you're looking for something outside of fitness, I feel like you can really simplify and your specific
Definitely.
goals,
Definitely.
so to speak. I think it can be
Probably
done
the
a lot.
easiest
Yes.
to measure with something that is fully in your control.
There's also so many tools to measure, like we've talked about before. There's
Oh,
like
yeah.
in body. There's ways to measure your 40-yard dash if you're an athlete, your
Sure.
vertical if you're an athlete, that type of stuff.
Yeah.
Your weight loss. So there's a scale that's easy to measure as well.
Definitely.
How many times you get into the gym, that's obviously easy to measure because you
Yeah,
can just track it yourself.
Or weight used in the gym. You know, this
exactly.
week I used the 40s on dumbbell bench. 2 weeks from now or 2 weeks from then, I'm using the 55s or, whatever it is.
Whatever.
You know,
yeah, exactly.
And it's also fully in your control. There's
Mhm.
no excuse there for you to not be making progress in the gym.
Yeah.
Okay. It's one thing if you maybe don't know what to do in the gym. That's when you've got to ask questions to other gym goers, coaches or trainers that might be at that gym as well. You can contact us 100%.
The Untapped guys, yeah.
Okay. And there's tons of free programs out on the internet. Are they going to be the best of the best? No, but it's also something to follow.
Mhm.
Okay. It's also something to follow.
Yeah.
And
there is also going to be very affordable programs
100%.
to purchase as well.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes,
Absolutely.
there will. So, on that note, not just fitness, not just weight loss.
Mhm.
If you're an entrepreneur like us, or if you're somebody looking for a promotion in a job, your goals are going to have to be a little bit more specific.
Absolutely.
No doubt.
Yeah.
And I actually want Mitchell in a second to comment on this as a guy in a 9 to 5,
Mhm.
again, quotations there. But those goals have to look a little bit more specific if you're trying to climb that ladder, so to speak. Like
Definitely.
in our case, we have to say things like, okay, we will do this to get to this many followers on Spotify, or we will do this to get to this point on Instagram, or we
Yeah.
will cover this. And that, again, it's sometimes with the algorithm, it's hard to measure those things,
Right.
but you can at least put them in front of your face.
Yeah.
But like we had last year, we got very specific with the stuff we set
Definitely.
on there. And we made a lot of gains. We might not have hit everything exactly to the exact follower
Right.
count,
Right.
if we were aiming
But there's
for
progress.
exactly. If we were aiming for example, like let's say we were aiming for 1,500 followers on something and we got to four something instead, like 1,483 instead, is that a loss? No.
Right.
We still gained a lot in that scenario, for
Exactly.
example. Obviously,
Exactly.
that's a not a specific example to us, but it makes sense
Sure.
in the realm. So,
Or,
yeah.
for us, we're going to do this to gain this number of new clients by this time. So for your life, for your situation, just fill in those blanks.
Exactly.
Okay.
We're going to reach out
I
to this
will-
many people.
Exactly.
Right.
I will make this amount of money in commission because I will make this amount of sales by this time. It's the same idea. You can literally apply that type of a sentence to
Yep.
whatever it is you do.
And you can go down the road and make it more and more specific in that case, too.
Exactly.
Okay, on Wednesday this week, I'll talk to 10 people or something like that, or
Right.
make 10 calls this week. On, Thursday, I'll up it to 11 or 12 calls or whatever. You can go down the road and make it very specific.
Definitely.
And I think you have to be careful with that sometimes, too, because too specific can be very paralyzing. Because
Sure.
that's when we talk about how you miss that, you hit 3 days instead of 4 days, and then you paralyze yourself
Right.
from, like, if I can only make 3 days, I have to drop my goal to 3 days.
Exactly.
No.
No, you can still find a way to adjust there with that walk or with something at home or
Right.
whatever, or maybe that week life just happened. You know what I mean? Like, make sure life actually happened. Don't use it as a crutch or as an excuse, but
Yeah.
we get it. There are times where that happens.
Yep. 100%.
But-
Mitch, I'd love to hear, like I said, about your avenue in your career and how that kind of relates to this conversation here. What would you say are some examples, like, I don't know, 2 or 3 examples of something you would do or set for 2024?
I'm trying to remember what the term is. It might be top-down goals, where people will define a long-term goal, a medium-term goal, and then a short-term goal.
Hmm.
So say you have a year-long goal, which is going to be very general,
Mhm.
a medium goal, which is going to be slightly more specific, and then your day-to-day goals to work toward that long-term goal. So say, like in your guys' case, I want to reach 2,000 clients by the end of 2024. That's a very generalized goal.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have the specifics in how to get to that goal. It's still a goal, but you don't know how to get to there. You don't
Yep,
have a
sure.
roadmap. So that's your top, right? That's the very high level view. Jeff Lavecchio has talked about this.
Or reverse engineering.
Yeah.
That I think he called it a 10,000 foot view. I
Yes.
think that's
Yeah.
what it was.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So you're real high level, and then maybe your 6-month goal is we have a program developed or a pipeline developed that sends us 20 clients per week that will result in, a 25% success rate. I get 5 clients every week out of those 20.
Right.
which is actually a pretty high success rate in,
Oh, yeah.
in a lot of stuff. And then, right, the maybe short term could be a month or a week, or you could even break it down and be even more granular to day-to-day actions. But say your monthly goal is post 20 times a month or 40 times a month, which would result in us gaining those 5 clients. So it kind of rolls up when you need a roadmap to that big goal, because otherwise you don't really have stepping stones to
Sure.
get to that goal.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I
good
was
stuff.
thinking.
And when you take that approach, you got to understand, like he just said, it creates a roadmap. Now, that roadmap is going to be blurry for the most part because it's not like you've done this before.
You haven't done it. Yeah.
Exactly.
Mhm.
But you at least have a direction. Okay, I have to go that way to at least start. Okay. And then as I'm going that way, okay, I hit a rock right there, so I actually have to veer off a little bit because that way didn't work. But I have all this progress made, so I got to make a slight adjustment, take a left turn here, boom. Okay, that one worked. I know that worked. Let me try to repeat that, and then so on and so forth until you reach that big goal, and you complete the roadmap essentially.
Absolutely.
So you guys have to understand you're never going to have the clear path. That's the biggest thing, is you're never going to have that clear path. But as you start to go down that path, it will become more and more clear, and you will have to make adjustments, and you will lose, you will fail, but you have to take that as a lesson, and then you will find your way to your goal.
It's like what another thing Jeff says is always, failing isn't actually real. Failing's not a real thing. We actually heard this from Matt Vincent as well. He said essentially the same thing, that failing is not real.
Mm-hmm.
You're basically going back and analyzing that mistake. Maybe it was a large mistake, maybe it was a small mistake, but then you're learning from it and taking that lesson from it to then get better in it.
Exactly.
It's the same thing. Like, okay, maybe 3 reels or 3 clips a week didn't get us the growth we wanted on the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so do we go to 4 to 5 now and then try that out and see if it works? Okay, maybe it has to be 6 days a week or whatever. We have to do this, and then we learn from it. It's a different style each time. We post this of the vlog, post this of the podcast, et cetera, and then see where it goes from there.
Exactly.
And it's analyzing it each time, because truthfully, the 3.5 years we've been doing this now has been literally just learning from failure after failure each time and how to get better.
What works, what doesn't work, and
what works to connect with people better.
Exactly.
What works to get a guest like Matt on.
Right.
Who are we talking to after Matt now and whatnot. That type of stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Because you're learning from that each time.
100%. And I think in that analyzing of the failures or whatever, in turn, you have to then create new habits.
Mhm.
You have to create new routines. You have to create new actions and things like that will then progress you on that direction that you're trying to go.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing, guys, is you have to start with the goals, because you have to start out, what do you want? And Jeff said this in our second episode with him on episode 100. You have to state very clearly what you want. If you don't ever do that, you're never going to be going in any direction. You're just going to continually feel lost.
Mhm.
Okay? So you have to say what you want. And when you say what you want, you will then kind of figure out what your purpose is. Okay? Because that's the biggest thing. Everyone's always searching for the purpose. And like, look, I get it. Prior to us doing this, like, I was in that spot. I didn't know. I was like, I have absolutely no idea what I want to do. Do I want to do something in basebole, scouting? Do I
feel
want
you.
to go to school and get a degree in something? But it's like, none of this really interests me, and blah, 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 blah. Okay? Once you state what you want, once you state how you want to do that, then that purpose becomes clear, and then you know what new actions, habits, routines, and all those things that you have to create. So have your goals, have your resolutions for the new year here, okay? Start there, because then you know what you want. But in order for those to happen, you have to create those 3 things: the actions, the habits, the routines. Without those 3 things, you will not accomplish your goals. You won't. People think that just because the calendar flipped, you're just going to accomplish. Like, 23 is over, we're on to 24. This is my year. Yep.
This is my time.
Everything starts going my way now.
Yeah.
Like, bro, you think the world just revolves around you? Like, you think when you were born, like, God said, okay, in 2024, Jimmy's life, his will take off that year. Like, bro, no, that's not how that works.
Yeah.
That's not how that works.
Yeah, because that's the thing, because God, again, doesn't just say this is going to happen right now.
Exactly.
You have to put in work with it.
Right.
That's the beauty of our relationship with God, is we have to work along with him
Yes.
as well.
And it's just how the world works.
Exactly.
Like, it's just not going to be handed to you.
No.
It's just not. You know, and everyone's situation in their life is very, very different. Okay? There's no doubt about that. Some people might have more opportunities than what others do. Okay? That's also true. But that doesn't mean that you can't become successful.
Yeah.
Just because this guy maybe has 10 different ways he could get to that and you have 2. Okay.
Still looks like some paths to
Exactly.
get there to me.
Exactly.
Sure as hell looks like a road to me.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And what you're saying too is like, also don't, essentially this is a metaphor I just kind of came up with, but it's like, don't try to chop a tree down with a hammer. You know, if you're not using the right tools to get there,
Right.
there's no way you're going to hit your goals.
Exactly.
So if you're essentially just doing the same thing over and over again and it's not working each time and you keep doing it, you're just stupid.
Yeah.
Like like that's just
Yeah.
dumb.
Yeah.
Like
That's the definition of insane.
exactly. That's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
The definition of insanity. So again, if you're trying to use that hammer over and over again to chop down this tree, it's like, this is the year it's going to happen. This tree's going to fall now. It's like, bro, just use an axe.
Yeah.
Just go get an axe and chop
Right.
it down.
Or just get a different tool. It's
Exactly.
kind of your point here.
Exactly.
You know,
You
try
know-
something else.
If only cardio's what you've been trying the whole time, you've only been doing cardio and you still haven't lost that weight,
Right.
maybe try taking something out of your diet. You know,
Right.
stop eating the Pop-Tart every
Right.
single morning or something like that.
Right.
And thinking that you're going to lose weight by having the same amount of calories. But hey, I did more cardio.
Exactly.
No. Maybe try out strength training this year.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's your axe now to chop down that
Right.
tree.
Right. Find your axe.
Ah.
I mean, it's true though.
Stuff.
You
That's
know,
so
like I
good.
like that.
Dude, that's really good.
Because the
Yeah.
overall point is just if that tool isn't working,
Mhm.
you got to find another tool. You might have to develop another tool, aka another skill.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what it is.
Might have to get innovative.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I think that's fantastic there. It's finding your tool and finding the right tool and then creating the new actions, habits, and routines. I mean, that's the blueprint there.
Yeah.
That is the blueprint.
Because maybe you're trying to literally hammer a nail into a wall and you're using an axe
Right.
instead, you know, opposite
Right.
way. Same thing.
Use a
You need a hammer
screwdriver.
or a screwdriver.
Like, hey, dude, that's not going to work. Yeah. I can tell you that one.
You're
pretty
hitting it with the
confident.
screwdriver like this.
I guess eventually it would work, but
Hypothetically, yeah.
yeah,
But again, it's going to take you 30 plus years instead of 5.
instead of a second.
Yeah.
Just-
or- yeah. Okay, cool. We're good. 100%. There's an
Yes.
efficiency aspect to it as well.
Yeah.
Because if lifelong goals take you 40 years to accomplish, that's going to get pretty miserable real quick.
It can.
It
Yeah,
probably could
yeah,
get pretty miserable.
yeah.
Unless it's something you love doing, and that's
Sure.
also another conversation, but
Right.
and that's awesome. But yeah, I think it's a big deal because, and I don't want to skip over the fact that we even said at the start, it is time in 2024 because of the fact that a lot of stuff's happening.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff's happening, and continuing to mess with the wrong tools, and that could be being around the wrong people,
Right.
could be being in the wrong environment, whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
It's not time to do that anymore.
Yeah.
It's not, especially us men. It is not time to be weak and soft and little beta boys. It's not.
Yeah.
It just isn't time to do that. We need the masculinity again.
Mhm.
Masculinity is so paramount to become back in 2024, and you know we're seeing strides.
Definitely.
You know, I was talking to a guy the other day on DMs, and he was like, obesity's still getting higher. So is anxiety and depression. Does that look like we're winning?
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
And maybe there's a correlation there.
exactly what
Bingo.
exactly what he said too.
Yeah.
Exactly what he said right there.
Yeah.
So it's time to find the right tools.
Yeah. Time to get in shape. It's time to learn new skills. And that goes for anybody on those things.
Anybody.
I mean, seriously.
Yeah.
It's just you're living a miserable life and you act like you don't know why, but deep down you do know why.
Right.
It's like, so just make the change. Just
Yeah.
start. Just start. Like it's gonna be a journey. It's a journey, especially a fitness one, is one that really never ends.
Yeah.
It's gonna have its ebbs and flows, its ups and downs, peaks and valleys, all the things. Okay? But buy into that.
Mhm.
If you're trying to buy into something new in 2024, like that is the one. Start there.
Yeah.
Start there.
Yeah.
You don't have to do anything drastic like 75 hard. You certainly can. You certainly
It's a great
can.
option.
In
Yeah.
our experience, there's nothing better that'll get your mind right, get your physical right. I mean, that is
Yeah.
we do a lot of promotion of that program for a reason. I mean, seriously. It just
Because it does the damn work.
exactly.
I mean, honestly, it does.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you have to do the work.
Yeah.
It gives you the plan, it gives you the blueprint to it. All you got to do is just follow what it says.
It's about as clear of a roadmap as you can get.
It is.
And again, if you guys need help working through those workouts during it, we're happy to help with that.
100%.
Happy to help
That
with
is something that we actually plan on doing with our training is having a 75 hard program.
Yeah.
For people that do 75 hard and maybe just don't have a workout program to
They're like,
follow.
what the hell am I doing?
Boom.
Yeah.
We're going to have one ready. Like that is something we plan on doing with our training guys. So certainly, if that's something you want to do, then by all means do it. But you don't have to. Is my point.
Yeah.
Because it's intense.
Well,
it's very intense.
And keep in mind too, guys, if you're a dude and another dude, your goals are to lose 20 pounds. This other guy, he loses 50 pounds or whatever. Don't look at that and think that's a loss. Same thing if you're a woman and you're trying to compare it to a man's results. Again, we've talked. It's different.
Yeah.
It's genuinely and most of the time, men and women's goals are also different in life.
As they should.
So they should be different.
Yeah.
100% they should be. That's a really big key right there. So set goals along with who you are as well. Don't try to, if you're a dude, don't try to set, goals that like something a girl would do or something like that too.
Or that you just have a literal 0% chance of like if you went into this year and said, I will make it to the NHL. Pretty much a 0% chance that would happen.
But and why?
Exactly.
What would be the point of that? You know what I mean? Like, there's no point in me doing that.
Right.
And it's the same thing as like a girl saying, I want to bench 250 pounds this year. And her bench is 120.
Right.
It's like,
or she weighs 120.
Exactly. Yeah. Or she weighs 120.
Yeah.
It's like, honey, let's turn this, like, let's switch it a little bit. You know what I mean? There's nothing wrong with that either.
Right.
You can still be strong.
Oh, yeah.
But you don't have to be the next power lifter or whatever.
Right.
It's
also not impossible for a woman to bench 250.
No,
we're not saying
we've seen that before.
But we're just saying, like, understand your circumstance.
Yeah.
Okay. Understand, have big goals, have things that scare you, all the things. Okay. But don't set something that there's almost no chance of you accomplishing if it's a 1-year goal, because then you're just going to get discouraged about it. You know what I mean?
And I think it's important to set goals too that are good for you long term as well.
Oh yeah.
Like,
again, it keeps that direction. Keeps that why.
Like you're gonna like what run, like for example, like you're gonna run steroids as a female for what? Just to have long term no fertility.
Exactly.
If you want to have kids long term,
right?
That's gonna put you in a risky spot there.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah.
With all the fertility is bad enough in the world right now. That's something. If you want long term kids, like if your goals then harm your fertility long term, that's bad.
Exactly.
Same as a dude.
Right. 100%.
Like there are things that could harm our fertility long term.
Absolutely.
Okay, I'm gonna run a gram of trend this year. Maybe not.
Yeah, let's pause on that.
Like, do you want to be a lifelong TRT client? I guess that's like because you're gonna have to run a lot of it.
Oh yeah.
To keep your fertility working.
Oh yeah.
So it's stuff like that. You have to be smart with them. It can't just be a year-long goal. You just hammer it out and you destroy your body in the process.
Right.
Or you destroy your mind in the process as well. You can't be stupid with your goals.
Right. And also on this same topic here, don't be stupid with the results that you do end up getting. I'll go back to an example you used earlier. Let's say you have a goal of getting to 1,500 followers on Instagram or something like that, and you get to 1,200, okay, and you're upset that you missed out on those 300, but think about the amount of people you are impacting at 1,200.
And you went from 700 to 1,200 that year, for example.
Exactly.
Pretty wild.
So it's like, at the same time, understand the progress that you have made, okay? Because our kind of final thing we wanted to talk about here, guys, and this doesn't necessarily directly apply to the example we just used there, but it does certainly apply with the realistic part of the SMART goals, okay, and these specific goals. But you also have to have an understanding that not everything is going to get accomplished in just a year, okay? A year right now, it sounds like a long time. Like, holy cow, December, Christmas is 12 months away now.
Yep.
And
we're still young enough to think that way.
Sure.
That a year or so, it seems like a long period of time. Yeah.
But at the same time, it feels like we literally just had Christmas last year. You know what I mean? Like, that's how fast it goes.
Yeah.
That's how fast it goes. Feels like I was just coaching, this past summer. It felt like it was a couple weeks ago. You know what I mean? So, like, it goes very, very quickly. And in the grand scheme of things, a year is not that long. Okay? So understand that not everything is going to be accomplished in 1 year. Okay? Especially if it's like a financial goal. We certainly have those and things like that. Like, we have an understanding. Okay, this isn't going to happen in 1 year.
Yeah.
If it does, something miraculous or illegal happened. But
again, you've committed insurance fraud or something.
Sure,
like that.
of course. You could just gamble and stuff like that. Just rob the casinos, pull off an Ocean's 11. Sure, okay, it happens.
It's the title: Untapped Guys Encourage Crime.
Untapped guys give the blueprint to robbing Vegas.
Even though they're shit at gambling.
Yeah. Well, hey now.
Well, I'm shit. I shouldn't speak for you. Sorry.
Come on.
For all I know, you're good
I've
at
taken
gambling.
$250 million on the blackjack tables in Vegas.
Wow.
But then I lost it on the next hand. All of it. I bet all of it. All 250 million.
I'm all in. I need the billion.
With a pair of twos in blackjack. 4. I'm all in. Okay, anyway. So understand that. Okay.
Yeah.
Understand it's not going to be accomplished in a year. Not everything will be accomplished in a year. However, understand the tremendous strides that can be made in a year and that will be made in a year.
Mhm.
Okay. And for fitness goals, it can happen even quicker than that, quite honestly.
Yeah.
You know, I saw this video. There's been 100 million different ways that this has been said. It might have been Jocko. I don't remember. But it was just like, you know, 1 day in the gym, you're not going to notice anything. 2 days in the gym, you're not going to notice anything. 100 days in the gym, you can be a completely different person.
Which is very fast, by the way.
Very
For results
fast.
in life, 100 days is very
It's
fast.
3 months.
Yeah.
It's 3 months. 75 hard is even less than that. And look at what can happen in 75 days.
Yeah.
Physically.
Yeah.
Not even talking about the mental stuff.
Yeah, that's ignoring the mental side of things
Exactly.
because that's as we talked about, that's the real thing. But
yeah, absolutely. So also just have an understanding if you don't accomplish that big goal in 1 year's time, understand the strides you did make though. You know, again, maybe you didn't hit the 1,500, but you got to 1,200. If 1,200 people came up to you in one day said, "Hey, you impacted my life with this," imagine how good you would feel.
Right.
You know, if you go from 15 followers to 60 followers, imagine if 60 people came up to you, said, "Hey, man, like, you impacted my life with your content or with your videos or with your advice or with your podcast or whatever it is." You know, there's times in the past, and sometimes it still happens, we get a little discouraged with the numbers on the podcast.
Absolutely. Yeah.
You know, not as high as maybe we wanted them to or whatever. And that's just because a lot of you don't like to share the show. So please share the damn show, people. We put a lot of time, effort, and money into this. So please share the damn show. Had to throw that in. Okay, Mitch's salary is not cheap.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Mitchell's bankrupting us at this point in
Seriously.
time, guys. Help us out. Come on.
How do you think he is paying for that new car? Okay.
A damn Audi. How do you think you bought that thing?
Anyway, now I kind of lost my train
No,
of thought here. Oh.
Yeah.
But what we go back to is like, okay, maybe it wasn't as high as what we wanted, but this number that we see is a little bit smaller. Imagine if every single one of those people came up to us today, was like, "Hey, man, like I loved that episode. I took this away from it." Imagine how good you would feel.
Yep.
Fantastic. You're doing what you want to do. You are impacting people's lives. So that's how we have to look at it as well.
Well,
You know?
off that point, actually, I'm glad you brought that up because it just ding something in my head there. I was having a conversation with Louis Shakes last night over Instagram, and they just won like a big game in a division higher than them, and he had the tying goal and the winning goal, which
hell
is
yeah.
sick.
That's awesome.
Sick, which shows me he's dirty.
Yeah.
Pro hockey, he's dirty. But the point is, like, one of the things he literally stepped outside, him hanging out with his teammates, sent me a video and was like, "Dude, you guys are doing great things. Thank you for like the love and whatnot." I'm like, this is the fact that he's noticing that. He's over in France.
Yeah.
That's all it took.
Yeah.
That was one person.
Right.
So again, when we get, all of a sudden we see, the first shares of the week from the Matt episode, we're like, "Dude, thank you."
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I mean, it
You
is.
know?
It is awesome.
And then we get somebody a week later that just listened to the episode. They then share it. And it's
Yes.
like, dude, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And that's you're right. That's what we come back to.
Yeah.
Because like they're naturally, like, and we've been told this a million times, there's naturally down times to it.
Sure.
It's hard to comprehend that in our minds that there are going to be down times sometimes. We get hard on ourselves because of that.
Right.
But then we're like, wait a second, a year ago, we were getting half the listens that episode we're complaining about now does.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
what are we doing sitting here bitching?
Right. Right.
Because we have an opportunity to then have another guest come on, like an MLB guy, big leaguer,
World Series champion,
stud muffin,
like
Matt
casual.
Adams. I cannot speak highly enough about that episode. I keep coming back to that.
Yeah.
But, I mean, he was unbelievable.
Yeah.
Matt was unbelievable in that
Yeah.
episode. But we have the opportunity to do that. Then every time we go to an S2 or first form thing, we hear from 20 different people. So it's like you start to think, okay, stop, worrying. Why don't I have the yacht this year?
Right.
That's essentially what
Right.
like that's the equation. Like, why don't we have 1 million listens right now?
Right.
But then we have to come back and be like, well, we have 20 people that are loving the episode that just talked to us at this one event.
Right.
One event, 20 people said something to us.
Exactly.
That's insane.
Exactly.
That's awesome.
Yes.
So
Yes.
you like Wurtz is saying, guys, you can make these large strides, but if you're trying to go from making $50,000 a year, for example, to having the yacht in the next year or whatever, you're gonna crush your own mental about that
Right.
over and over again by doing that. Now,
Yes.
having a yacht, that's a realistic goal for I think for anybody for that matter. Having a yacht is a realistic goal for literally anybody if you put your mind to it. 100%.
Absolutely.
It just isn't like, I'm not saying it's a year-long goal.
Sure.
Maybe it's a 15, 20, whatever your goal.
10,
Who
whoever's-
knows?
Everyone's
Who
in a
knows?
different spot,
Who knows?
you know?
But that doesn't mean you can't chase those goals. It's just that, like Wurtz is saying, don't crush your own mental by putting yourself in an unrealistic goal situation like
Exactly. Exactly.
that. Within an unrealistic time period. That's
Yes.
the case. Because
Yes.
in my opinion, there's no such thing as unrealistic goals. There's just,
No.
if you put a time constraint on it, that is going to kill you. in the long
Right.
term.
That's the unrealistic part.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm.
Right. Without a doubt. No, I think that was a money way to end that episode there. So guys, I mean, that's just what we wanted to talk about as far as, New Year's goals, New Year's resolutions, and we wanted to kind of give a blueprint to how you can accomplish those, how you can make strides, and just understanding the ins and outs of those things. Okay. So understand that it's not all going to be completed in a year's time. A lot of it can be. There are
Very good progress. can be,
plenty
yeah.
of things that can absolutely be accomplished in a year time.
Mhm.
A lot of big things too can happen in a year. No doubt about it. Okay. But if you do set those big time ones, if you're someone making 30, 40, 50 grand and your goal is to have, that yacht or have, a 10-car collection or the house you want or whatever it is. Okay. Understand that that's probably not going to happen this year. Unless you're, again, really, really good at fraud or something like that.
Yeah.
We do not condone that here.
I guess if you're just built different and you
But
just
do call us if you are that
if you have a
type of
method
person.
to
Yeah.
make that, yes, let us know. Let us know. Pass it on to us.
We do not condone fraud. No.
We can't, and just so you know, if you guys want an Audi, we don't have a producer opening. So, that can't be a part of your goals this year.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. That spot is taken.
The untapped
Yes.
producer spot is taken. We're not hiring. Yeah. So if you want that Audi, you can't get it.
Oh, Lord. But guys, we hope you have a great New Year's. We hope you had a great holiday season. Okay, it's a very, very fun time of the year. It's a very stressful time of the year as well. Hectic and a lot of moving parts, but we hope you did have a good time with your family and your friends. But 2024, it's time.
Yeah.
It is time.
Merry Christmas.
That's right.
Not happy holidays. Merry Christmas.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. We say
Mhm.
Merry Christmas here. Without
Yes, we
a
do.
doubt.
Merry Christmas and share the show on everything.
And share the
YouTube, comment, whatever.
I mean, seriously, guys, share the show.
Yeah.
It's not difficult.
It's such an easy
It
thing.
literally is
Yeah.
about 3 buttons.
Yeah.
3 buttons.
If that.
Yeah, actually 2 on Instagram.
Yeah.
No, it's 3 actually. Share
I saw you doing the math in your
Yeah.
head. That's comedy.
the share button, and then it pulls up Instagram stories. Click that, then click your story. Look at that. There's another blueprint
Yeah.
for you guys. We're just handing out blueprints. here.
And Words can
Call
do
me a
math.
construction
so,
worker.
that's a
Yeah.
pretty big deal. Construction worker. Would that be an architect?
Yeah, whatever. Same thing.
Same thing.
Yeah. Guys, that's episode 106. I hope you enjoyed it. Please share the show. We do mean that, okay? And those of you that do continue to share the show, share our clips, we love you guys. We are so, so thankful, okay? Happy New Year. Guys, until next time, peace out.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Merry Christmas.
Not even gonna give up. Got too little time, I'ma live